Bob, first of all, congratulations on the 2017 Joe Lapchick Character Award. It's a tremendous honor, and I know you've received a ton of honors over the course of your career, but this one has to be especially special.
You know, it's so special because of, well, who I'm sharing it with, Doris, Burke, and Bill Raftery, who are such professionals and such inspirations and do things with such integrity and honor and joy. And also because my first college basketball game that I attended was St. John's against NYU. Joe Lapchick was the coach. It was 1962, and it's a memory forever embedded in my mind.
When you look back at your career, which is still going forward and up, of what are you most proud?
The lessons I've learned. The things that have been taught to me by the young men that have played for us, by the young coaches who have worked for us. It's a constant learning experience. I've been doing this now 44 years, and I'm still learning. I feel like I get a master's degree every year. And I look at some of the players that we have had here and some of the players I had in high school, and the impact that they have had on my life. I could never pay them back for that.
Yeah. Former chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff, Martin Dempsey, has spoken on leadership numerous times, and I've had the pleasure of hearing him, and he talks about great leaders having character, competence, and humility. And I think what you just said demonstrates a tremendous amount of humility, which you have always displayed, as have your players. How do you balance confidence and humility?
That is one of the biggest challenges for a player, particularly because he needs to walk on the court as if nobody can beat him. And yet he needs to understand that it's the collective spirit of what goes on in that court that makes him successful. And I think Steph Curry embodies that as well as any professional athlete today, and that's a big reason for his success. You're constantly told how good you are, and yet you can never fall in love with that. You must understand that it is a product of a group of players coming together for a purpose. Steph Curry's first interview after he scored 30 points against Michigan, second game of his college career, the first thing he said was, "Jason Richards got me the ball when I was open. Thomas Sander and Boris Menno set tremendous screens for me." He was an 18-year-old kid in his second college game making that kind of statement, and that's the kind of foundation that he received from his folks, from Dell and Sonia.
What do you think the lessons are going forward? Because the game's constantly changing, not just the way it's played on the floor, but all the influences around the game. What do you think the most important lessons are going forward for your players that you're bringing in now and that you're coaching right now?
I'm convinced that basketball is life. What happens on the basketball court is going to happen in life as a father, as a husband, as a sibling, as a teammate in their work environment, maybe as a leader in their work environment. Everything that happens on the court is just a reflection of what happens in our society. And I'm convinced that one of the great aspects of our program here at Davidson is that we have a Serbian, we have a Finn, we have a Swedish player, we have a Nigerian, we have an Icelandic player, we have an inner city kid from Charlotte, we have a kid from affluent Charlotte, we have a guy from New York, we have a guy from Boston, we have a guy from every section of the country, every color, every religion, every economic background, and we work together for one cause. And isn't that what we should be doing with life?
That is as profound as it gets. And if basketball truly is life, you have lived an extraordinary one and have been and continue to be a great example for all of us on every level. Congratulations, Bob, on this 2017 Joe Lapchick Character Award.
Thank you, Jay.
Great to be with you.
Thank you.